that you have. So now let's talk about the air signs Libra, Aquarius and Gemini. So the air signs are about interchange. So the movable air sign Libra wants to interchange and is thinking about, what do I want to interchange? What do I want to trade? What do I want to give and take? And what we give and take is based on how much we value something, right? Libra is ruled by Venus because Venus is the planet that helps us measure the value. And Libra, as an air sign, is able to measure the value of something, okay? And as a movable sign, it knows that the value is going to change. Libra is basically the sign of understanding the change of value, and this is an important quality to have in life. Of course, specifically if you're a business person, but that's why Libra is the sign of business people. Because if you buy something for a certain price, then you need to know that you can sell it for more than you bought it for. Right? You know the value when you buy it and for how much you can sell it, or you know that you can buy it now and in 10 years the value will go up, okay? So the change of value based on time and place and circumstance is what Libra is about. And anyone who has a strong Libra understands the change in value. What is the value of it now compared to what it used to be? What is the value going to be in the future? Right? The value of things always changes. It is the changing social conditions that affect the value of things, but it is also that we change too, right? As we go through life, our value system changes. As a woman between the age of 16 and 45, you're going to have a certain value for a male partner, right? If as a woman you want to have children, then of course the value for a man in your life will be great, right? And that is why once you had your children or someone other, you get too old for children, then the value for a male partner changes, right? As a woman. Of course, if a woman doesn't want to have children in general, then of course that affects, the value of a man right from the beginning of her life. The same way also for a man. Let's say a man, he just wants to explore the world for the first 15 years of his life, right? And when he's 20 years old, he goes on this whole world adventure and just hops from one country to another. And a woman doesn't even cross his mind. And so of course the value of a woman for him will not be that great. Compared to finally when he's like 35 and he starts to settle down and think, wow, actually it would be so nice to have a woman on my side, right? And at that point, of course, the value for a woman in his life will be much higher. So Libra is the sign that allows us to understand that the value of things changes. And if we have good planets in Libra, then we are able to assess the value of things in our life now and how it will change in the future, and then we can make good investments. If there are bad planets in Libra, then we don't understand the value of something and we make bad decisions, right? We make a decision and think, oh, this is gonna be forever, and then it lasts only for a short time. Or we make short-term decisions about something and then we're stuck with it for a long time. But a good Libra knows that even if my values change in the future, what I choose now will still be good later. A person with an afflicted Libra cannot assess the value of something in the future, and as their values change over time, what they got actually becomes less important to them. Libra, of course, is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love and marriage, and a good Venus knows that as I go through my life with this person, I know that even after many years, I will still be able to value this person, even though, I've become a different person. And a bad Venus might choose a partner and a few years later find out that they just don't like that person anymore. And Libra is really knowing, Libra is about knowing the change in value and therefore choosing something that we can value for a long time. Now that change in value is secure and fixed in Aquarius. Right? Aquarius thinks that some things are always valuable. Libra is about the change in something valuable, and if the change of things, if the value of things is always changing, how can we ever be secure in it, right? Well, we find that security in that value through Aquarius. Aquarius is symbolized by a man holding a water jug. And water is that which has constant value. These days, of course, we take water for granted. The water just comes out of the tap. It's hard to understand the importance of the sign Aquarius in the context of the modern living situation. But imagine yourself in a place where if it didn't rain, you wouldn't get water, or in a place like India where people still need to go to the well to get water, and then even need to carry it for miles home. So water has value. No matter how sophisticated our lifestyle might be, water is most essential for us. It's more important than food. It's more important than anything. Right? Let's say someone hasn't eaten and drunk for 2 days, and then he will come to your house and you tell him, oh, I just made this fantastic lunch. Do you want some? And he's like, just give me some water, right? So Aquarius represents those things whose value is permanent. Anything that maintains its value and that's always going to be worth something, that is Aquarius. In the old days, the primary valuable thing was water. These days, we might say that oil and petroleum, always going to be valuable, or at least as long we depend on fossil fuels. But back then, it was water that had permanent value. Water was considered an important factor for the growth and expansion of a culture. And that's why they always talk about rain, in the ancient scriptures, and praise the gods, to get rain, because rain was just considered to be so valuable. So Libra is the change in value. And Aquarius is that which we all consider is always valuable, right? Water is important to everyone, in every culture, in every country, in every part of the world. And anything that fits into that idea that something has fixed value and is a safe investment, that's Aquarius. Of course, our values are based on how comfortable and safe we are in the world. People in poor countries have a different value system and will consider something more or less important than, let's say, people who live in a part of the world that offers them material security and stability. Right? If you're struggling to feed our bellies, then we have different needs and values than those people who don't need to worry about how much food is in the fridge. Okay. And that's why Aquarius is also a humanitarian sign, because it understands the intrinsic, permanent value of all human beings, right? No matter the background people come from, all human beings have value, and that's why we need to take care of them. Right? Those people in Africa need water, and so let's give it to them. Those lives are just as important as ours because they're on the same spiritual journey as we are. But somehow they ended up in this lifetime in the situation that they're in. But they have the same value for human being, and so let's be humanitarian. And that's why Aquarius is the humanitarian sign. Aquarius is about seeing what has permanent value. Aquarius sees the inherent value in something, and that there are certain things that always have value. And people with good planets in Aquarius are really capable of understanding that, right? For that reason, Aquarius, or the original 11th house, Aquarius, or the 11th house, okay, that can help a person with their financial fortune, right? Because they can see what is valuable in the long term, and then they make good financial decisions, to have secure streams of income and gains. And so, the air signs are really all about interchange, right? The give and take. And I'm going to give you something, and you're going to give me something. And what we are going to give and take varies and changes based on Libra, or our value or need for something. And Aquarius allows us to live in a world of change, of value, but still knows what is always going to be beneficial for us. Right? So Gemini now is the sign of understanding and learning about what is valuable and what to interchange. And this makes Gemini a really important sign for business people, right? Because Gemini tries to understand the market better. Gemini is learning about the value of things, what they should trade, what to keep, what's worth having, or what better to give away, simply based on the fact that value changes. And yes, there's also some things that have fixed value. And this makes for a great market strategist or someone who understand how to make things move, okay? And I use the word move because we're talking about the air element, right? Air element is about things moving, about interchange and giving and taking, right? We can move and exchange things if we understand the value of something and the change in value of something, and also the fixed value of things. And to interchange and trade requires strategy. So if you understand the change in value of things and you understand what's always going to be valuable, then you can plan and come up with a strategy for success. And that's Gemini. Now the air signs are focused on the interchange that happens between people. And everything important in life pretty much has to do with a person or people. Interchange is therefore really important for Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. And we can improve upon that interchange while maintaining the relationship. And that is done through Gemini. When we improve the relationship, then we get more and the other person gets more, right? The relationship gets more beneficial for both people. And this is what Gemini likes to do. Gemini likes to improve the relationship so that it becomes a more mutually satisfying experience. And Gemini does that through communication. When we communicate, we can improve upon a permanent relationship, right? And so Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini are the relationship signs. Libra shows that you're going to have changes in your needs for a person. Your needs for a person will fluctuate and change. But Aquarius shows that there's something that's always going to be important to you about that person. Otherwise, you wouldn't be with them. And based on your changing Libra needs and desires and the permanent Aquarius benefits that you get from a person, Gemini allows you to improve upon that relationship. You can make the relationship better and more valuable by communicating your changing desires, and as your needs and desires change and become permanent, you can bring those into your relationship and increase the quality of your relationship. So Gemini is the sign of trying to improve upon your give and take. When Gemini is nice, you want to improve upon the give and take for everybody involved. If Gemini is afflicted, then you want to improve upon just what you can take. You want to get more and more. Or if Gemini is weak, then you might also just be unable to get more and more, and you might feel like that you're taken advantage of more. Okay? But there's always a struggle with Gemini to get more of that balance right in the give and take.